Hi, this is Steph with Belladonna Dyes, and today we're going to do a dye ice cube gravity dye. Alright, so we're going to try this again. So this time I'm using PVC pipe, and I'm doing it inside the house where it's controlled. It's 73 to 75 degrees. I'm hoping this is going to slow down the process of the shirt drying out so there's better vibrancy, because I'm just not into this if I can't get the vibrancy. So I have the step stools that I got recently all propped up in here. And because I am doing it inside the house on carpet, which is ridiculous, and another reason why I'm not a big fan of this, I have it sitting down inside one of the little kiddie pools. I've got it propped up on the milk crate, and then I have the tote to try to catch all of the drips. And I got one of those tablecloth things from the dollar store, and you can see here it's already ripping right there. So for me, you know, this is not so fun, but I'm curious to see how it's going to work out. So a long time ago, I made liquid dye ice cubes, and I forget about them all the time. So this is probably a good opportunity to try to use them. So I zip tied the two PVC pipes together, and I've scrunched up the sleeves just because I want to try to keep it all contained where the drips are going to fall into the tote. And if it splashes or does anything like that, hopefully the pool is going to catch it. And I'm going to run out of light, and then the footage is going to get terrible again. So the shirt's been soaked in soda ash. It has been spun out in my Panda spin dryer. It's damp, but the thing with the Panda, it gets pretty dry. So I need to hurry up and go get the ice cubes. So I will come back. So here are the liquid ice cubes that I made. I made these last year, so hopefully they're going to work out. I'm going to glove up. They begin to melt really quick and get super duper messy. And again, I'm doing this over top of carpet in the house, and it's risky and I don't like it, but we're going to go for it. Okay, so I have the dye ice cubes placed, and I do have footage of me filling them up, so we can go back and see what colors. I don't remember, but I just know that they are a lot of purples and blues. So as you can see, it's already starting to work a little bit. Let's see, let's come here. I'm short, it's higher than I am. So hopefully it's going to spread out and do something. I hope these two aren't the exact same color, because that would be a bummer, but whatever. It's an experiment. We'll see how it goes. I know that when I made these cubes, I originally was going to do 2 spiral shirts, 3 on each shirt, but what the heck. Let's go ahead and try it out here. So I've zip tied the 2 PVC pipes together. I'm trying to think. Yeah, I mean, really, it's self-explanatory what I've done. If it gets on the carpet, I will never be able to forgive myself. I'm really risking it. But that's the setup. So 3:45, we'll come back in an hour, 4:45, and we'll see what happens. It's only been a few minutes, but as the cubes started to melt, I realized that two purples were right next to each other. So I switched that cube with that cube. So see how it was navy blue? So hopefully the navy blue, it'll go blue, purple, blue, 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 blue basically, or purple. I don't know, I don't remember. So we'll see as they begin to melt. But so far it looks like it's starting to work. So I'm gonna come back and check it in like 45 minutes and see what happens. So it's been about maybe an hour and a half, and you see all the clothespins. It's because I realized that the shirt was wide open, so it was not like dripping down both sides. It was dripping down in there instead of getting on the shirt. So I've clothespinned it together. Let me see if I can show you. So, you know, I've made sure that front and back are next to each other. So here, front and back are clothespinned together, and so on. So like, I don't know, whatever made that drip down. So hopefully it'll continue to crawl down. I don't know if this is gonna work, but let's come around to the back side. So seeing all that purple on the bottom made me realize that I needed to have the layers next to each other. So as it creeps down, I think I'm going to just start removing the clothespins. But so far, it's doing something. So this is one of the medium prepared for dyeing shirts, so PFD shirts, just like the last one that I did outside. And it's really different. You see all that, the fuzz? It's just highly unusual. The regular Gildans don't seem to do that. And I only soaked this for 20 minutes in the soda ash bucket. So hopefully it's not going to show up like that on the final result, because I bought a whole bunch of these. They have, they're sewn with cotton string so it dyes. So I was excited about that, but I don't like the fuzzies. Like, that's terrible looking. So anyways, lots of blues. I did not, plan for this. I would have done different color cubes, but we shall see what happens. All right, I decided to smush it all together because the sleeves had really good saturation and were starting to drip down inside of the tote. So I thought, instead of letting it just waste and go down the sleeves, I'd squish it all together. And I squished it, not only did I squish it together, squish it, but I also made sure to pinch the front and the back together, so hopefully it will start to drip evenly. And I'm getting pretty good saturation. And when I squished it, the ice cubes fell off, or the dye cubes or whatever, so I'm sure that I didn't put them back up. Like, I think this one was over there, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. Now let's come around the back and see. So hopefully by the time the cubes are done, it'll be fully saturated. Well, here it is. It's about 7:20, so let's just say roughly 4 hours later. So now I'm just going to leave it alone and let it do its thing. Hopefully it won't dry out completely. And then, let's see, it would be tomorrow around 3:30 would be 24 hours. So we'll see what happens. It got pretty good saturation once I scrunched it all up. So when you do yours, maybe start by scrunching it. Let's come around and look at the back. Yep. Maybe down there at the bottom a little bit, not so much, but I'm not going to do anything to it. I'm going to completely just leave it alone. All right. We'll see what happens tomorrow. It's been 24 hours and most of the shirt is completely bone dry. Even though I did it indoors in a controlled environment, it still dried out. Just the thin layer of fabric really couldn't retain any of the moisture. Some of the areas are a little bit damp still, and I think that's just simply because the dye ice cube just sort of like, I don't know, accumulated in certain spots. It's not really damp, it's just more like gooey old dye. So it's time for the rinse out, and I didn't go with the whole cold water thing. I figured let's just go right into hotter water so it's warm so that my hands can handle it. The soda ash and all that dye redepositing, I don't care. And I was thinking maybe the hot water would help set some of the dye so it could retain some of its vibrancy. So what you want to do is rinse it out best you can. Now, a lot of these colors were blue, and blue takes the longest to rinse out. And I decided that I was just going to do this project all by itself. I didn't want any other shirts to, get on this shirt, or since there's so much dye left in it, I didn't want this dye to get on the other shirts. So I rinsed it the best that I could until my back was just killing me. And then I took it to the washing machine and I used Cerulean in a hot water cycle. And then I did a final hot water cycle using Millsoft. And then I put it in the dryer, and we'll come back and we'll see the results. Well, here it is, guys. Here's our shirt after it's been washed and dried, and I like this shirt. I don't love this shirt. It just lost a lot of the vibrancy that I was hoping that it would have, so that's a bummer. It's really pretty. All of the colors are so similar though, there's just not a lot going on. And I think, that I used the old dye ice cubes, that could be contributing to the fact that it's not as vibrant. And also it dried out sometime in the night, so it didn't have enough time for the dye to bond with the fibers in the shirt. So this is the prepared for dyeing t-shirt like I had mentioned, and I've done both of the shirts in this material. So I'm going to try a George shirt next time and see if it has something to do with this Gildan shirt. Because usually they're very vibrant, but it's the whole method. Now I do think that this particular setup is working very well for the gravity. I just need to fine tune what dye I'm using, what colors I'm choosing, things like that. So overall, I'm happy with the shirt and I'm going to keep playing around with it. So what do you guys think? Please leave me some comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to my channel, leave a thumbs up, and click the bell and set it to all. That way you get notified of future uploads. And remember, have fun tie-dyeing!